Hey y'all, it's Trap Talk Radio. Trap Talk, Trap Music, and Trap Possibilities with Madam CJ. Right here on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. If you haven't already, text a friend to text a friend, www.in-touchnews.com. Again, it's www.intouchnews.com. And if you want to call and talk to me, 813-444-9588. Again, it's 813-444-9588. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome back to the Trap. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Y'all know I love y'all so much. And we made it another week. Hallelujah. I know you guys missed me last week and I was on a little vacation. I had an amazing time. I was able to go to Savannah, Georgia and see some of my family that I have not seen in a long time. And it was such a blessing to go see them. You know, it's good. You'd be surprised like how much time goes by. I had not been to Savannah in like 15 years. That's sad. It's only like 5 hours away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd have been plenty other places in these last 15 years, and I didn't have time to stop there for whatever reason, right? But it was so good to go there. Not only was I able to go, but my baby was able to go, and able to see some of her family that she didn't necessarily know before. So that was truly, truly a blessing. So I thank you guys for tuning back in. I am back. It's going to be a very interesting show. I've been contemplating about having some of these conversations, but we're here. It is what it is. So what I learned in the trap this week is beware of projection. So while I was on my trip, my mom was listening to Iyanla Fix My Life. She was listening to Iyanla Fix My Life. And one of the things that I kept noticing in the show was, it was a mom and a dad, and they had a daughter, and they were so involved in their daughter's relationship. They did not want their daughter dating this particular guy for whatever reason, right? And so, by them doing that, of course, what usually happens is the girl is going to cling more to the guy because that is something you don't want her to do. But when Iyanla, and y'all please forgive me if I'm saying her name right. I think I'm saying her name right. When Iyanla asked the mother, why do you not want her to be with this guy? The mother says, well, because she's overweight, I don't want her to just take the first thing that comes. Because she's overweight, I don't want her to feel like she doesn't have high self-esteem, right? And Miss Iyanla said, that's what you feel about yourself. And you're projecting that on your daughter. Have you ever asked your daughter how she feels, right? That alone is something that is so prevalent in, I think, human beings. And I only been black, you know what I'm saying? And especially in the black community and in parenting. A lot of times as parents, we may project our emotions and our fears and our worries on our children. And that is not, sometimes I feel like my mom and my dad may project some of their worries on me. And that's not my problem. That's your business, right? Ask me. And my mom and I had a pretty candid conversation, and she was like, do you feel like I do X, Y, and Z? Just with the different episodes we were watching. I said, yes, mama. It'd be nice if you asked me how I feel about some things, right? Iyanla said to the parents, she told them, stop telling them stuff and ask them how they feel about it. If you ask me something, you might actually be able to gauge, I don't feel how you think I feel, or my mindset is not how you think my mindset is, right? So what I want to tell everybody is beware of those people that are projecting their concerns on you, right? And I was having a brief conversation about that before the show started. Sometimes we will go after things, and I'm not talking about just business. Let's say you want to go after weight loss, right? And that is something I'm struggling with myself. So what I would hear is, and I know I'm not the only one, when you decide that you want to set a goal out, and if you don't talk to the right people, the wrong people will tell you everything that is wrong, everything you can't do, all the way, oh, you're not going to be able to eat this, or you're going to have to work out, or you're going to have to do this, or you're going to have to go to the gym. And the stuff that they're saying may actually be factual, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. That doesn't mean that it's going to be my problem, right? So whatever you decide to do in your life, beware of those people that are projecting their fears, their worries, their concerns on you. I was talking to someone about a new venture that I was considering doing, and they told me, oh, you're going to have to get this, and this. And normally I don't even talk to people about new ventures. And I said, well, isn't all of that required to be legal? Ain't nothing wrong with me having to get this, and this, right? That's what I need. Why is that the negative? Why is that the issue, right? When you have to pay certain bills and you go out and you, and we talked about generations 2 weeks ago, right? So, we live in the millennials, a nice part of the millennials, we had a lot of helicopter parents, meaning the parents, they wanted to make sure that we were okay. They wanted to, they didn't want us to leave the house, right at 18, which I actually think is a really smart idea. I think pushing your kids, now I did know some parents that was like, oh, when you turn 18, you getting out of my house. I don't agree with that, because at 18, you don't really, especially if you have not equipped your children and what they need to know. And even at 18, you still don't know everything that you need to live life, right? But our parents kind of wanted us to kind of stay in the house a little bit. But when we get to the point where we actually want to we want to go on a limb, sometimes the generation we live in, our parents, they be scared a little bit. Oh, don't do this, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do this. Well, mom and daddy, you had to do that too, and you was all right, right? I'll figure it out. I'll be okay. That is those people. And even though with our parents, a lot of times they're projecting with love, right? But it's still projecting. Be mindful of that and make sure that you do not embody those fears, worries, concerns that other people have. Yes, if it's something that you really can take advantage of and actually, put in your back pocket, I think there's nothing wrong with doing that. But people will put their worries and their fears on you, and that is, honestly, for lack of better words, baby, that is not your problem. Okay? That is not your problem, because what I feel like I can do in my mind and my heart, just because you didn't see it for yourself that you can accomplish those things and achieve those things, that's not for me to take on. I feel like a lot of people get hindered because they don't have the right support system to go after whatever they want to go after. My parents made sure that I knew that I could achieve anything that I wanted to in this world. I mean, anything I set my mind to. If I wanted to go to the moon, the only thing my daddy was going to ask me was, how you going to do it? That alone, if my dad and my mom taught me nothing else, that would have made me okay, right? He asked me, how am I going to do it? He didn't say, you can't do this, you can't do that. How am I going to do it, right? Which also caused me to think about, okay, what are some of the risks that I may be taking? What are the stumbling blocks, right? But that also allows me, once I start thinking there, I can figure out how I'm going to be able to overcome these situations. Do not let people project their emotions, their feelings, their worries on you. Listen, you hear it, you take heed, because they may have some wisdom, but it's not your burden to bear. It is not your burden to bear. I hear people all the time say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, why didn't you? What was stopping you? I was thinking, I don't know what made this thought come in my head a couple of days ago, but I was like, I remember a girl at my church, at my home church when I was raised at, and she told me she wanted to do building and coding, right? She was a few years older than me. And I said, oh, why won't you do that? And she said, well, that's going to take like 4 years of school, right? This is probably 10 years ago. She's a cashier at Walmart right now. You could have just did the 4 years. Why is that a negative thing? You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with working at Walmart. Please don't get it twisted. The point that I'm trying to make is, she looked at the work that had to be put in as a, oh no, I can't do that because it's going to take 4 years. Baby, what you did in the 4 years? Nothing. What do you have to show for those 4 years? Right? Even if you're not where you want to be, do you have anything to show for those 4 years? Right? So, I guarantee there's so many people out here that are looking and should have, like, y'all, just do it. And if you fail, pick yourself back up and try again. Back up and try again. You dust it off and try again. Let it go so easily. Hey, was that Aaliyah? Okay, she was telling us, like, dust yourself off and try again. Like, it is okay. It is okay, y'all. So that is what I learned in the trap this week. I'm so sorry to be going on a long tangent, but I'm just don't let anybody project those feelings on you. And shoot, if they gonna project any feelings on you, let them project the feelings that you can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that you can achieve anything that you want in the world, right? Let them put on you wisdom. But all of that thinking I'm not gonna be able to do something, or all of the negatives. Is it glass empty, glass full? Where's the innovation? You know, I think our generation, we talked about this several times before, that we're the generation, the millennials. You know, we've been forced to live with a lot of changes in the world, and I think because of that, we break through a lot of boundaries. You know, the downside of that is we don't necessarily have patience to see things play out, and we get discouraged. We get discouraged quickly, but we can pick ourselves up and we can try again. A lot of the millionaires that are millennials, I guarantee you they've had several businesses before they found the one that hit. Right? Could have those first businesses been successful as well? Yeah, they probably could have, right? If they would have stuck it out. But we're not the generation to stick it out. I know that's a bad thing. That could be definitely a bad thing when you talk about things that you probably need to just stick in there with. But pick yourself up. Like, it is okay. Everybody's problem is not your problem. Everybody's story is not going to be your story. You know what I'm saying? The issues that they had and they dealt with, you may not have to deal with those things. You may not. You may actually get out there and just walk and drink one glass of water a day or whatever and have one side. You might lose the weight you won't doing that. Baby, my body ain't your body. Okay? I guarantee you, when you put on the jeans I got on, your booty ain't going to look how mine look. That's what Mary had a little lamb. I promise you, Anna. Baby, cause this thing here, baby, this thing here, baby, one of a kind. They only made one Cedrica Spencer, baby. Only one, right? I'm joking, but I'm serious, right? My journey, my story, my experiences are not going to be the same. And I try my best not to project any negative feelings on people. I try my best not to even tell people what to do. I don't like to tell people what to do. Don't tell me. I don't like nobody telling me what to do. I ask for your opinion. Don't give me. Don't give it to me, please. Okay. If we're talking about something, you say, "Well, I think you should." I don't think I asked, baby. I don't think I asked, so I don't really want that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just me. So I try to make sure that I do not project my thought process, especially if that's an idea. Like, I'm very gentle with people's visions, because I really believe that God give specific people visions, and only those people can execute those visions. Now, if you don't want to be obedient to God and to the Spirit, and you don't execute it, will He bring somebody else along? Absolutely, but it won't be the same, right? It's going to be some people that it doesn't touch. For example, for me, with Painting in the Trap, people didn't understand that at first, right? What is the name? They didn't understand the name. They didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't care. I didn't care because it wasn't for them to get, right? But of course, you know, I remember one or two people said something to my mom, because we had a worship Painting in the Trap, right? And it was like bomb.com. And so it was like, well, how can it be Painting in the Trap and then it's going to be playing gospel music? Because it was what it was. It was an atmosphere for people to party and people to dance, and they were able to worship. Like, isn't that what church is? I thought that was what the house of the Lord creates. But that's just only what I thought. But that's only what I thought, because we be show dancing and shouting and jumping and playing instruments and all of that. All that in the house of the Lord. But I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? In the trap. But I thought the church was in us. But it's all good. That's what the word God say. But I thought the church was in me, because that's what the word say, and I read my Bible, and I know the Lord. All of that, right? But once again, that was the vision that God gave me. It wasn't for nobody else to understand it, right? So I try to be very sensitive to that, because I know what it feels like for people to come and try to tell you what you're supposed to do. No, I asked you what to find this document at. I asked you this. I didn't ask you all this extra, right? And I know you guys have heard me say this before. A lot of times we have to work on not expecting people to see what we see. I seen a meme, and it was like a shed, right? And it looked like trash, but someone remodeled the shed, and they had like that shed type home, and it had like a real rustic feel. Somebody would have threw that shed away, but they turned it into like a beautiful home. It's all about your vision. Be careful, be sensitive, be wise. on who you allow in your vision, what you let them know, because I promise you, they'll project their fears on you, and their fears could ruin your purpose. And that is what I learned in the trap this week. Y'all, please be sensitive to that. I don't need nobody. Trust me, if you're supposed to create something that I need, baby, or my baby need, don't do it. Okay, I don't need us missing out because your auntie then was scared to go to school for something. Okay, I ain't got time for that. Cause your uncle or your brother, they ain't know how to, they ain't want to do, they ain't want to put in the work, baby. Don't deprive me. Okay, do what God told you to do, and we will be right back, y'all, on Trap Talk Radio.
All you sports fans, tune in every Monday morning to listen to Mic'd Up Mondays with Michael Clayton. You don't want to miss this.
On In Touch Radio.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
You listen to Trap Talk Radio, Trap Talk, Trap Music, and Trap Possibilities right here on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Make sure y'all call in 813-444-9588. Again, it's 813-444-9588. Welcome back to the Trap. Hope you guys had a good week, y'all. I didn't realize I was gonna go on the list 15-minute but baby, I felt passionate about that. It would just be making me mad. Stop doing that. I don't like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I don't know if I told you guys about my Nashville trip, but when I went there, I was able to go to the African American Museum. Did I say that? African American Music Museum. So it talked about all of the music and how it came about. And it talked about it from the fact that when we got off the boat, right? Slavery, how it turned into, it was basically African. Okay, we got a caller. First time caller. This is Trap Talk Radio. Who we have on the phone?
Larry.
Hello.
It's Ray and Zakia.
Hey, how y'all doing? How's it? Is Zion here?
Not yet.
Okay. What's up? What y'all got to say?
No, I just wanted to talk to you.
I'm on the air. Y'all better say something about this topic.
Say something about this topic.
They're playing. Mind you, this is Z and Ray. Ray, they're about to have a baby. She's in the hospital right now. My godson, Zion. So they over there wasting time watching the show. Okay? Ray, call back because I'm about to get into this topic. I need to see what you're going to say about it, okay?
All right.
I love you guys. Y'all take it easy. She's in the hospital right now. She supposed to be pushing. Zakia supposed to be in that 1, 2, 3. Oh, y'all here watching the show. Get ready, girl. Get them practice every. But my girl know how to have a baby, honey. I told her earlier. I said, baby, if you don't know how to do nothing else, baby, you know how to have a baby. She's so pretty. I'm about to show you her picture later. But anyway, so we was talking. We were at the music museum, and I thought it was so amazing how they told the history of it. But it got cut off in like 2009. And my god brother and I was talking about who should be, who would they add in there. He said Kodak. Now, I'm not a huge Kodak fan, right? But, y'all, people love Kodak Black. You follow him? He just real gutter. Like, I like Kodak. I think some of the statements that he made is real ignorant. I do. But I can see why people like him. He real good. He real Florida, mouth full of gold teeth. He got wigs in his hair. I believe he Haitian. Like, he just a Florida boy, like in the essence of a Florida boy. But I just seen him he did like a Facebook, like an Instagram live or something, or FaceTime with Tom G. And I said all that to say I'm excited to see if they end up doing a song together. I would love to see what that song is about, and I think it's gonna really go to the next level. And hopefully that type of stuff can be added into the African American Museum of music. So there's a lot going on this week. We just had Women's Day a few days ago, right? And I seen a lot of posts about different, basically people celebrating Women's Day and celebrating those people that they love and they cherish. I was a little bothered by Michelle Obama sitting down with Dwayne Wade's daughter. His daughter was born a son, a boy, and is in the process of transitioning to a girl. So I'm studying a little bit because I want to make sure I'm using the right terms. So please forgive me. I do not want to insult anybody, disrespect anybody. Please forgive me if I'm using the wrong terms. I know we're in the era right now where we are trying to be acceptance of everyone and be respect everybody. Women's Day, I thought it was for women that were born women. Forgive me. And it bothered me because not only did that happen, but there's a lot of articles coming out about, once again, please forgive me, transgender women, which is actually the term of a man that's transitioning to becoming a woman or has transitioned to surgically become a woman in that sense. A lot of articles coming out of like trans women being in athletic activities with women that are not transgender, right? They're in boxing matches with them. They are in track meets with them. They're playing the same games as them. They want to use the same bathrooms. And I get it. I get the need to want to be accepted for what you feel like you are, right? But if I get hit in the face by a transgender woman, I'm still getting hit in the face by a man. Let's be clear, right? That's not the same thing. And the fear for me, or the worry, and once again, I'm trying not to project my emotions on anyone else. That's the reason I started with that. Not trying to project my negative, if you take it as negative, perspective or whatever, on anyone else. But the facts are the fact. The genetic makeup of a man is not going to be the same. I don't care how much testosterone a woman takes. If I decide I want to be a trans man, okay, I'm going to have a little beard. I ain't never seen no full beard or no trans. That's because you could just be me. I'm going to have a little bit of, I'm going to have a little peach fuzz. I'm going to have a little beard, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? I guarantee you if I end up fighting one of these dudes on the street, my punch still ain't going to hit the same, no matter how much testosterone I have, right? And the history of Women's Day. Is it going to come to the point where everything has to be completely blended? How are we going to how are we going to separate? Y'all know English is my first language. Wait a minute now. Let me get up to that. But what you about to say? Is there ever going to be because you know what? The thing about it is this, and I'm not trying to make it about race, but it is what it is. I cannot go nowhere and say, I feel like a white woman. I feel like I'm a white woman. I feel like I'm a white man. Okay? I can't change that. Right? If we want to put, if the foundation of it is acceptance. If the foundation of it is acceptance and equality, okay? These people are still, these people that, when I say these people, I mean whomever choose to, however they want to live their life, they're still people. They still are human beings. They still should have the same respect. They should have the same love. Nobody should be treating them no type of way. None of that, right? I don't want to get hit in the face by one of them if I decide to be a female boxer, right? That's not cool. Just like At was one point, well, they had a National Negro League for football players, right? Or baseball players, right? Now, granted, they had the same makeup as these men. They just had different genes of where they originated from, but they were still men. They forced them to have their own league because they wanted them to play towards each other and play against each other. I'm not saying that they should not be able to, they as in trans men, transgender, I'm not saying they should not do the things that they love to do, because I'm pretty sure they're still human beings. They have things they should love to do. But do we have to mix the two only to have a natural born woman suffer? Because that's what's happening, right? When I saw Michelle Obama sit down with, and I think her name is Zara, I'm saying her name wrong, but Dwayne Wade's daughter, okay? There was plenty other natural born women, young girls that could have been praised, right? Because they are a woman. But we wanted to praise that. And it's not an attack against Dwayne Wade's daughter, who was born a son. It's not an attack against the decision that they are decided to support him and now her. And it's the fact that our society wants to push this narrative so hard. What is the goal? What is the goal? Okay? Because my choice, and I'm raising my baby as a girl. Honey, when you become a grown adult and you can consciously make a decision about how you want to live your life and the risk and the pros and the cons that come to that, that is your business, right? As parents, as a society, I believe it is very important for us to create a foundation so these children and these young adults can have the space to be creative and have the space to say, this is what I feel. Should they be telling us how they feel? Absolutely. Tell us how you feel, baby. Because that's another issue, that kids don't say how they feel, and then you don't even know what they're doing. Tell me how you feel, right? And because if you're telling me how you feel, let me help you have the tools to be fully equipped with that, right? When Dwayne Wade's daughter go out in the real world, or other daughters that are like her go out in the real world, they're not gonna be. That's the Dwayne Wade daughter, baby. But it's 3 and 4 Ashleys out here. It's other parents out here that may have sons that think they want to be a woman or want to be a girl. They're not gonna be accepted like that, right? And if we're praising this, but we're not preparing the children, the people. You're not preparing them, right? That was the option. That is what we decided to praise on Women's Day. Maybe I would have felt different if it was a panel. Maybe. But I know the young lady that did the poem at the Super Bowl, she wasn't Jasmine Sullivan, her, Chloe, Haley. I'm just thinking about all the, you know what I'm saying? I can't help but to think that, and I'm getting hot, like physically. I can't help but to think, and I never really believed it. I never really looked at the prison line. Like I ain't never really believed that theory of destroying the black man, destroying the black family. But even when I think about a lot of these movies, and we see like couples, and I think everyone should be represented in things that we're watching, but it's almost forced down our throat. The black man is not forced down our throat. A black family, traditional as what we know, to that's not. It's all. And maybe once again, if it was a balance, maybe I wouldn't feel no type of way. Ain't no balance. Ain't no balance. And I just wonder, like, what is 10 years going to look like from now? Because we can say everyone needs to be equal, right? We can say that, but it's not going that way. And it's like, we really have to consider the best way to go about this. And to be clear, I'm not saying that we can't entertain the thought, because people are choosing to live their lives the way they want to live it. But we have to be very sensitive to who else we're Xing out. right? Who are we not praising? It's something to think about. It's something to think about. A lot of people have stuff to say about Dwayne Wade. And I can see both sides. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be sensitive, y'all. We'll be back.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals
Wow.
and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
Hey, y'all. It's Trap Talk Radio, Trap Talk, Trap Music, and Trap Possibilities right here on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. We thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you text a friend, www.intouchnews.com. Again, it's www.in-touchnews.com. Welcome back to the Trap. So we're talking about some of the things that's going on in the world today, and I'm talking about, you know, Women's Day and how we have incorporated the transgender community in Women's Day. Okay. My take on it is, I don't know if that is not, I don't know. I know that was not appropriate for, in my opinion, in my feelings, it was not for Women's Day. And I decided to look up the history of Women's Day, right? International Women's Day has been observed since the 1900s. And it was created to celebrate the monuments and the moves that women have been able to accomplish over the years. The women's right to vote, the women's right to have businesses, being able to buy homes without their husbands. Just the different rights that we had to really overcome as women. Is it okay for her to be able to be a mother and go to work? We weren't able to have a lot of the, see, that goes further. Y'all had to looking at me. That goes further into what I was saying. So my perspective was, you know, Dwayne Wade's daughter was celebrated, in a sense, for Women's Day. She was able to have like a Zoom conversation with Michelle Obama. And the daughter I'm referring to is his daughter that was born biologically a boy, a male, and now is in the process of becoming a girl. Her name is Zeta Wade, right? Zaya Wade. So I did not feel like it was appropriate because I feel like there was a lot of natural born women that could have been celebrated that day, could have had that moment. And if they wanted to celebrate a young woman, there's a lot of other young women that around that age that are doing things that they could have celebrated. So when I'm looking up the history of Women's Day, all the things that they had to accomplish as women, I still don't see the tie, because a trans woman is a male that has decided to become a woman, and a lot of the things that they had to overcome, that natural born women had to overcome before trans women and men was a thing, you would have been able to have that anyway. I don't see the correlation. Let's have a trans women day. Let's have a trans women day. Let's have a trans day. Okay? Because there's Pride Month. And the parades are bomb.com. And they party, baby. Party, party, party. Let's all get wasted. A lot of those same issues that they would have had to overcome, they would have had it anyway if they would have stayed a man. That wasn't their choice. I get it. But now we are, as a society, encouraging. Now you get this over here too, right? Now, what's interesting enough is the some of the biggest supporters of this is the Black community, right? But we want to talk about white privilege. Can we talk about privilege in that? When is your son that want to be a woman, and now we have to celebrate him having the best of both worlds? Okay, that's what it is, and I don't think it's right. Right? It ain't right. If your son decided to be a woman and you guys wanted to support that, I think that is what, if you want to stand behind them, that is your child. Children need support. That is what you're supposed to do in a sense of a parent. You don't have to accept everything your child does, no matter what it is, right? But you want to support them to the best of their ability because you are their foundation. But the rest of the world doesn't have to, right? We don't have to change what history has proven to accept a natural born woman. So my daughter, if we want to just keep it G, right? My legacy, there's going to be things she has to overcome. There are going to be things they have to overcome in their generation, right? And because they've worked very hard, overcoming, now a peer of hers that is a male, for whatever reason he decided that being a male was not sufficient enough for him. He's going to come on this side. Now we got to celebrate him for that. Baby, how many cookies you want? Right? They want all the cookies. Right? And I'm not saying that they should not be celebrated. I just don't think that was a platform. That's not the platform. Right? And like I stated before, if you're just not listening to the show, there's been a lot of situations where transgender women are, they're breaking through, as a headline would say, transgender woman breaking through boundaries is now accepted in, now allowed to run in the girls' track meet. Okay? And now they done won 15 championships. Of course. They've won it. Of course. Okay? She's 6'3". 210 pounds.
I see your nerd. I see your veins.
Of course.
Just chill. It's okay.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And like I said before, it's not that we shouldn't. They should be able to enjoy life. I think, but let's be real. We're not gonna have. That's what. But see, that's why they got flag football for the girls, right? Because when the girls want to play football, they understand. Like, no, you can't play football with these dudes over here. So now that's not okay. And vice versa. Yes, I'm talking about trans women, but trans men too. Like, at the end of the day, sweetheart, sir, I respect you. You go over there and you get knocked over by that 350-pound linebacker over there. Yo, no matter how much testosterone you have, it ain't going to be the same. Let's have a league. Right. Let's have a league for that. Let's do that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And it's just being forced down our throats.
So would you like your tax dollars to pay for that league?
Would I like my who?
Your tax dollars to pay for that league?
That I would not care about.
Okay.
I wouldn't care about that.
Okay.
Because once again, if we're talking about being fair and equal, like, I think that's a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think that. I don't think I should be paying tax dollars for the Bucks to play anything.
You right, but you do. So
Right. So I mean, I get if that is what how it has to trickle down. Like I get it. I don't think I should, but
because if we're gonna separate it, you got to separate it all the way.
yeah, it's gonna have to be separate all the way around.
I mean, you know, y'all President Biden said that gender rights is the new civil rights. Y'all don't agree?
It's the new civil rights.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they've been saying.
That's what they've been saying, but is it really? Because did we choose to be black?
We did not choose to be black.
Okay, so if you chose to be transgender, which you did, that is not the same as not choosing to be black.
Said, I feel like a white man. I'm a white man.
Sure, you can go and do that.
I'm a white man.
You can absolutely.
My name is Brian Witherson.
You can absolutely be Brian Witherson. However, when they look at
Call me sir.
Yes, sir. When they look at you, though, they're not going to see Brian Witherson.
Who they gonna see?
A black woman with an afro.
Ain't no way I could change the color of my skin.
You can definitely bleach your skin. They do have creams out there for that. I would not recommend them because that's not what I would promote. However, you can definitely change who you are if you would like to. However, because you decide to change it, has nothing to do with me. That's all this boils down to.
It's your business.
It's your business. But I don't really care because it doesn't really bother me because I don't want to be with you. So that's not my problem. So
unfortunately, I feel like women we are going to end up having. I ain't talking about no black woman. I'm talking about women, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, natural born women. We're gonna end up having a short end of this stick.
Well, that was the I'm on the air.
So you feel like the people that okay, so y'all know Anna.
What
she
why
y'all know she radical, but she also is like up on a lot of controversies or like theories and stuff like that.
Conspiracy theories is
Do
what
you
they
believe
would like
like
to call
the powers that be, quote unquote, the powers that be, they want to exile women?
I think that they want to control population.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to control population is to control reproduction. And if you have men that want to be women and women that want to be men, then you have a very slowed down reproduction.
A whole bunch.
So the target would be the melanated community because we reproduce way too much, especially for the quote unquote dominant society who has not been reproducing for the last 10 years.
Do you think that's just America?
No. I mean, we know that this started in the Vatican. Them priests over there been touching on little boys for a little while. Yeah. So that's, this is their normal way of life. And of course, I have to enforce this on the countries that I have colonized.
Control over. Yeah. I like I said, I don't want to. I've never really given a lot of thought to like the thought process of the powers that be, whatever, the white man trying to destroy the black family. I try not to give that too much thought because I feel like it just hurts my heart too much, but the reality of it is that's what it is. And there's a thing now what I notice a lot of homosexual guys, very flamboyant, a lot of them have a thing for hood dudes. It's almost like they want to, like, for lack of better words, turn them out, right? That's only going to destroy the black family. That's it. And everyone has a choice. That just didn't come from nowhere though. That was something that that was planned and ingrained, and I don't even know where that comes from. Like
Europe in them Caucasus Mountains. Okay.
Oh gosh. Once again, like Well, we're going to come back. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the stimulus checks. We'll be back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Trap Talk Radio, Trap Talk, Trap Music, and Trap Possibilities right here. In
Why
Touch
she
Radio.
would leak back like that, y'all?
Reality radio, where everyone to start, y'all. It's just too much. It's too much. You know, and the reason it's too much, y'all, because I be like, I know this is a platform that God has given me and Mr. Darryl, Miss Tammy has given me, but I do be trying to be politically correct. I be trying to be respectful. I be trying to be, you know, once again, like I said earlier, I'm trying not to project my negative thoughts on anyone else because I do know that I have a platform. But some stuff is just crazy, okay? And I have to say this: if I'm gonna be honest to say other stuff crazy, I gotta talk about everything. You feel what I'm saying? And I have been not wanting to necessarily touch on that, but when I saw it for Women's Day, I said, you know what? We're not finna do this. We're not finna do this. Come on now.
That we're not gonna do this. But
come on.
I mean, you know, it was so. This is
what's next.
Like I told you, so we did have a conversation prior to us airing, right?
We ain't gonna say that yet.
I mean, that's what's next. You understand? Like that if you think about what you're being asked to accept, right? It's not necessarily like that you have a problem with, you know, your choices, right? Like you said, everybody is free to choose, right? You're free to choose to decide
to do whatever you want to do.
You don't want to be a man anymore. You don't want to be a woman anymore. You know, whatever. But there's a natural order, right? And you cannot supersede the natural order, no matter how much you try. But it seems as though those powers that be, right, have decided that the natural order is not what they would like. So I have to figure out a way to get everybody to accept that I don't like the natural order either. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like there's only one species in the entire universe that can change its sex naturally, and that's a fish. There's one species of fish that can change itself from a male to a female. That is what was intended for that fish, right? How you came out of your mother's womb, and whenever we get through, there's still only a natural way.
Absolutely.
To make that happen, right? You have to have a male and you have to have a female to make a baby.
A baby.
Like that.
Either way.
There's no way that you can get around that, right? And so since we know that, and we've accepted that, why is it that I now have to call it chest feeding? Because you, as a woman, you didn't see that part.
Chest feeding?
Chest feeding. They don't want you to say breastfeeding anymore.
It's a breast.
Okay, but
you eat that piece of chicken, are we gonna call it? Can I get a chest?
No.
Can I get a chest?
Yeah, that's
no.
Well,
it's a.
I understand what I get it. I got them. You feel me? I'm definitely breastfeeding my babies, but we thinking about Timothy, who turned into Tina. Okay, and Tina still had, Tina had the organs and stuff that had a baby, but she want to be Timothy now. She don't want you to say she got breasts, even though technically she does.
You have breasts.
Because Timothy don't got breasts. You understand? So she Timothy now.
So when they do cut out, so they still can breastfeed? Or they still can?
They don't. So
they still can chest feed?
Tina didn't cut off her titties because Tina still wanted to have babies.
Oh, okay.
But Timothy is carrying the babies.
Got you. It's too much. So we're going to go to the stimulus check. My head literally starting to hurt. Okay, y'all. So we finna get these stimulus checks by the grace of God. Biden signed the law in today. So he signed the bill into law today. Side note, Trump really went with all this. But Trump wasn't really with all that. But Trump wasn't with all that.
He wasn't?
You think he was?
Didn't you get some stimulus?
No. I won't talk about this. I was piggybacking on the previous conversation. Anyway, stop.
Nah, he wasn't.
So,
and that's why that was my dog. Y'all got him up.
So the stimulus package. So we did get a stimulus with Trump. We actually got two stimulus with Trump. We got 1,200, we got 600, and then Trump actually I guess we did get more. 12. That's what 1,800. So and then with Trump's stimulus package, there was a lot of money for city and government and housing and unemployment. A lot of these same things are in this stimulus, but they're gonna switch up some things. So this time they signed it into it. It passed the House on Wednesday. President Biden signed signed it into law today, actually. So the checks are coming. You are going to get $1,400 per person on your tax return. So before it was a little bit less for children, but now everybody gets $1,400, children included, right? The package extends the existing $300 weekly unemployment through September the 6th, which is not bad, which is pretty good, right? People are not trying to go back to work. So depending on what your state is, earlier proposals would have increased the weekly benefit from $300 to $400, but they settled on $300. I honestly think $300 is a good number plus the state, because it's like it gives people enough to, if they have decent bills, it gives them enough to cover their bills, but it doesn't give them enough where they need to stay on unemployment. Right. So I think before, when the first package was $600 a week, people was like, "Oh, I ain't working." Like, they was getting $875. I need y'all to understand that. Some people were getting about $875 a week. Other people were just getting the $600, right? So with this, most people would get about $575 a week if they live in the state of Florida. I don't know what other that's if they get the max, and that is including that is a sense of if they're working for a major company, if they're W-2, then they'll typically get the max. If they're independent contractor or something of that sort, they probably will only get the $300. But still, that's still something that could probably still cover your rent, if nothing else, right? So they're gonna get the $300. Then they're gonna get everyone will get $1,400. And another cool thing was children's tax credit. So under the legislation, most Americans will receive $3,000 a year for each child, 6 to 17, and $3,600 for children under 6. This means they're going to set it up where they're going to give $300 to $350 a month for the child for the next year. I don't know why that comes into play. I don't know if it's going to be something where that's usually the tax credit that you get per child, and they're just kind of giving it to you in advance. But you'll forfeit it next year. But I mean, I guess if you need the money right now, you need the money, and I get it. Especially when people have multiple children, that means you got 2 kids, you're gonna be getting $600 a month. that's a nice little, that can help out if it is rent, that can help out. So, aid to state and local government, the package designates $350 billion for cities, states, and tribal governments in the U.S. territory. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I said that to say, if you live in a county, because, Hillsborough County, if you qualify, keep your eyes on these government entities, maybe not now, over the next 60 days, because this money is going to be coming down. The last stimulus, which happened, they signed in December before Trump left, he signed another stimulus into law as well. So that money is going to start coming down. This is when you want to make sure you get your taxes together, your documentation together. So when the money is available, you can apply for it. You can get the money. The money's coming, okay? The money's coming, y'all. We got to just be ready. And of course, they're going to have housing. So, I'm sorry. That is $350 billion for cities and states and local governments. For housing assistance, the bill sets aside $20 billion in emergency rental assistance. That's for rental assistance alone, right? Another $10 billion goes to mortgage and home ownership assistance. So, y'all, keep your eyes open. The stimulus check is coming, y'all. We probably gonna have the checks before April. Do right with the checks, okay? And if you want to just save it, baby, save it. You ain't got to start a business. You ain't got to start a business with it. You can pay some debt off, okay? You can pay your mortgage up, your rent up, an extra month or two.
Get you a couple stocks.
Get you a couple stocks.
You know what I'm saying?
Cryptocurrency.
Invest your money.
Make
your money work for you.
If you want to just save it, you can do that too, right? You ain't got to start a business.
Save it in a high yield interest rate savings account, okay? So you can get some money back. You know what I mean?
Okay, y'all.
Make your money work for you so you don't have to work so hard.
I appreciate you guys for listening in. I'm pretty sure you guys will be back next week. I thank you guys for listening in. And y'all have a good week. Trap Talk Radio. I love y'all.